but I was just done. I was just over it, and I just felt like I just want a baby in my arms.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, guys. I want to say hi, too. Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Gotcha. Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Okay. All right.
It's too much fun.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our infertility series, part 2. We're just going to continue the conversation that we started before. If you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead. It's the first thing that you see in the description on this video. So stop right now and watch that if you haven't. But if you have, here we go. We're just going to continue being real and authentic about the pain of infertility, as well as our journey to kind of get to where we are with 2 kids through adoption with IVF on its way.
So where we left off on that video was talking about our IUIs. We had done all the natural remedies that we could even think of, and I finally opened up feeling like I was comfortable with trying IUIs without medication, was where my comfortability was. We found our current doctor, but she had a 5-month wait list, and at that point I really wanted to start. So we found another doctor that had an appointment only 2 weeks later. So we went to him instead.
It's a tip to you guys, if you can't get into that doctor right away, probably a good doctor.
Yeah. In our circumstance, that doctor more told us what we wanted to hear than what was actually truth. So he allowed us to do IUIs without any medication, which means I didn't ovulate more than 1 egg. So I would ovulate my 1 egg every month, and I would just call them and let them know when I got a positive ovulation test, and we would go in and do a insemination. And for 2 months in a row, it was negative.
Yeah.
So it was not even the next day after our 2nd month of doing an IUI that I was just done. I knew it didn't work in my heart, which I know it's probably not the best mentality to be in the day after you had an IUI done, but I just knew it.
Alex kind of has a brilliant intuition.
But I was just done. I was just over it, and I just felt like I just want a baby in my arms. At that point, I didn't care if I was pregnant. I just wanted that baby, and I wanted that baby now. So we instantly, literally in the 2-week wait, when everybody's waiting to see if they're pregnant, I started researching about adoption.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, we adopted our first daughter, Kinsley, and around, I don't know, she was so many months old, and we decided, we still want to grow our family, and we wanted to allow youth to be on our side, so we were going to go back the infertility route.
Right.
We made an appointment with our current doctor and got in a few months later and started that route with her. So just like with anybody that starts an IUI, that includes doing an ultrasound and doing an HSG and doing like different tests before you would even start. So I got an ultrasound done, and she said, "Oh, you have a cyst. Do you get those?" And I said, "Yeah, but they come and go." Even our last fertility specialist, told us, it's nothing. He watched it come and go and said, "Oh no, you absolutely do not have endometriosis." She looked at the cyst and said, "Okay, it looks a little bit like an endometrioma, but let's watch it one more cycle." So we watched it one more cycle, and she said it was still there, and she said, you can go on birth control to see if we can get the cyst to go away, or we could do a laparoscopy to see if maybe you have endometriosis. And at that point, I was kind of gung-ho, and it was always in the back of my mind, even though everyone kept saying, "You don't have it, you don't have it, you don't have it." And I really honestly had no symptoms. And you guys are so sweet and, sharing your stories, but I honestly didn't have pain where you would normally have endometriosis. The only pain I had was in high school and kind of through college was up in my stomach. Like literally where my stomach is, I would have pain there. Maybe that was endometriosis, because they did find endometriosis all the way up to my diaphragm. I don't know. That was a little spoiler alert. Yes, we did the laparoscopy. Philip actually got the news from the doctor. She said she has endometriosis everywhere. From my ovaries. My ovaries were adhered to my abdominal wall. I had it all over my bladder, all over my intestines, all the way, she said, even splattered up to where my diaphragm is, and that's like the top of like that abdominal cavity. So it was everywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't just like one of those cases that people had all of that pain and then you went in and you're like, oh yeah, there's like a little bit here and that's probably where the pain was. It was weird because Alex didn't have pain.
No pain,
and it was
but it's
everywhere. And so the typical symptoms of endometriosis that were causing, at least partly causing infertility, just didn't seem to add up until we went into surgery and we got the final results of the surgery when I met the doctor in the hallway and she just described to me like how bad it really was.
When I was under, they did the HSG in there, just kind of a 2-for-1 special, which is where they put the dye into your uterus and it goes up your fallopian tubes to see if they're open. And mine were open, and I actually had no endometriosis on my fallopian tubes, which she says was kind of a big shocker, because that is the number one cause of infertility is blocked tubes. That makes sense. Well, we added a new member to this interview, because otherwise, because we're not going to bed anytime soon. We tried. We'll explain who she is in just a second. So our doctor said I had endometriosis everywhere, and she removed the cyst, but she said taking out the cyst, it was really adhered to my ovary, and so she said she even had to burn it off, which is not a good sign for that ovary. But we
Ovary be gone.
Ovary be gone. So we moved forward with IUI, and we did 3 rounds of IUI with Femera.
All unsuccessful.
Through that process, I started getting more and more open to the idea of IVF. We'll leave the links in the description below because we were filming then, so you guys can actually go back and watch those 3 rounds of IUI and kind of our experience with that. And we just ended up with really low numbers and things, and it just didn't work out. So a normal number for IUI would be like 10 million total motile sperm, and we had 1 to 3. Each time.
Right.
So we were not really in the ball game. Even though we tried it, I needed to try it before moving on to IVF. I was actually not open to IVF at all. In my mind, I thought of it as like, you go in and you take the eggs out and then you take the sperm and you force them together and you force it back into the woman. And I just like, in my mind, just felt like I was forcing it too much. So for a really long time, I was really against it. And then the more I learned, actually mostly here on YouTube, that I became more and more open to it as I educated myself.
Right, totally.
So we did, after that 3rd IUI failed, we decided we are going to move forward with IVF. And so we got excited and we ordered our meds, and our meds arrived. IVF was postponed by a month because my eggs were all different sizes. And they usually want them all uniform. So she wanted me on birth control for a month, which was fine. And during that month, we were actually contacted by a birth mom to ask if we would adopt again. Long story short, if we would adopt again.
Through a series of text conversations and even FaceTime with birth mom, we decided that that was something that we really did want to take on. We felt from the very beginning that this was so out of left field and we were not expecting this. But we really honestly just kind of had this moment, wow, like what if this could be our journey? Like what if we paused IVF? Would you be okay with that, Alex? And she said, yeah, I think I would. And then 90 days later, we were in the delivery room with Callie.
This is our second daughter, Callie. We are going to do a more specific Q&A talking about adoption and the girls, but going back to infertility, we had our meds already, and we had said, yes, we are going to adopt again. So what are we going to do? We decided that we wanted to do the egg retrieval before our arms got really full and our lives got even busier. So we actually went forward with the egg retrieval, which is the injections, and they take the eggs out and fertilize the eggs and make the embryos, and then they're frozen.
So you're probably asking, where are you now in this journey of infertility?
So this kind of sounds like the end to the video, but honestly, this is just intermission at the moment while Callie gets a little bit older, and we are going to be implanting one embryo
sometime this year.
Coming year. So we're excited. We've never, ever had those 2 pink lines. So you guys, maybe you guys will even get to watch and experience that whole thing with us. We are so excited to capture it because that will be the first in a lifetime for us.
You've seen some ugly cries in our videos. They will be the ugliest of cries
for sure.
in that video that we see those 2 pink lines, hopefully. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. We are so grateful that you guys got to be a part of part 2 of our infertility journey. There's so much in store for us here at our channel, and we cannot wait that you guys are going to be here with us. So if you guys have any other questions, make sure that you write them, infertility or adoption or anything otherwise of our family. Write them in the comments below. Make sure to like this video. Make sure that you're subscribed. We will hopefully be inspirational, encouraging, and just leave you guys with a desire to go let your love multiply. Bye-bye.